All right, everyone, it's the moment we've all been waiting for. It's finally time to build the engine for this one owner, beautiful 1984 Ford LTD that we're building for our Dragon Drive build. If you haven't been following along, that's what we're building this deal for. We've already built the transmission, rear end, suspension, all that. Now it's time to move on to the engine. So what I've done this far is I've already cleaned the block good. We got a little surface flash rust, and I just have pressure washed it about an hour ago. I put one piston in. We're putting new rings in this jewel because the old rings were seized pretty bad to the pistons, and the pistons had a lot of carbon buildup. So I'm assuming it had a little blow by. So we just went ahead and put new rings in it. So we've got all our rings gapped properly. We did 28 on the top ring, 30 on the bottom ring. I know that's a little on the looser side, but I mean, I'm not always gonna be able to run this thing on E85. It'll be ran on pump gas a lot of times. And you know, we like to party around here. So, as I was saying, all the rings are gapped, everything's oiled, we're ready to go together. So, I'll get you guys set up on a time lapse. We'll get this thing slapped together and bring you right back when we get to doing the valve train. So I'll be honest with y'all, I've never been a fan, or used to not be a fan of this torque, and then, you know, take it to a certain degrees. But man, after doing this and being able to see with this torque wrench, the numbers being all over the place, I see why the factory does it. I mean, we have them, the majority of them were 56 to 59 foot-pounds after torquing, or after pulling it to the 85 degrees. But man, there was some that was 65, 67, you know, up there closer to 70. So I'm a believer in this method now. All right, before we go any further, I got to catch y'all up on what we got. You know, of course, we just went over the whole stock bottom end internals. Nothing fancy there. We're going to use a stock oil pump. It's pretty much everything below the camshaft is staying stock. And let me show y'all what we got for the valve train. So, cam-wise, I really wanted to go with a sloppy best cam for this build. And what I looked up and did, I found this on eBay used. And if you look, I can't remember which number it is, lift is pretty much the same, duration and all that's pretty much the same as a sloppy best cam. It's just, you know, a couple numbers off on the duration or the lift or both. I can't really remember. It's not far off enough to matter. So we got the extra cheap super sloppy best cam. This is a Michigan Motorsports front timing cover. Anytime you are doing away with the DOD, you have to change the timing cover because there is a spool valve and a spool valve solenoid in the front of these, the factory ones that is. And we've got the most famous valve springs on the market, Pack 1218s. And make sure you buy these from a reputable source, guys. Don't buy these off eBay. The copies are getting serious these days. Like, China has stepped their game up. New front timing chain sprocket, sorry. These are Johnson, just stock replacement lifters. They're not the short travels I thought they were, but I took them apart earlier and compared it to a stock lifter, and they're the same. They're just Johnson name brand. We got Michigan Motorsports lifter trays, and the kind of like the medium Chinese lifter valley cover. And what I mean by medium, it's like not the $30 one, but you know, not the overpriced $100 stuff, $100+ stuff. It's like 65 bucks. So, you know, it's definitely gonna be good, and it's in budget. So we'll get all this stuff prepped, ready, and I'll set you guys up on a time lapse and we'll get it all put in. And that's probably gonna do it for this video. We'll do I've got some other fancy-ish stuff for the outside to dress this baby up with. But right now we're just gonna do the internals, get this done, and then we'll talk about it when we're done. I'll get you guys set up and we'll get all this stuff put in. So, if you've seen the tear down of this thing, the cam bearings were actually good in this engine. And maybe that's just due to it being a Gen 4, not sure. And like I said, this is still just baller stuff to me, man. Like, I've never I've always done Gen 3 in the past. This timing chain tensioner and all is just super fancy to me. These lifter trays, these Michigan Motorsports lifter trays, they seem like really good quality. You know, they're pretty affordable, $40. I would never buy $20 lifter trays and put them in my engine off eBay. I just don't see that ever working. And right here, if you look at the standoffs, the oil standoffs in the valley, I did put some grease on my valley cover and on the O-ring that seals those off for the DOD stuff, and tightened it down and then took it back off just to verify that the O-rings were actually hitting that and sealing off, just because I just wanted to make sure it was. All right, now that we got everything done on the engine, as far as the camshaft installed, the lifters installed, valley cover installed, all that, now it's time to install these Pack 1218s, Beehive springs. And this is kind of a quick and dirty way to get these off. But a first disclaimer, do not do it this way if you do not have spare retainers sitting around, or keepers, I'm sorry. You do not want to do this. Unless you're in like a shop that's got a solid white floor and there's nothing else on the floor. So what I do is just get a little rag or something to hold these valves up, put it up under it, and take you a 17mm socket and be ready to catch it. Look at that right there. A lot quicker than just the old putting the valve spring tool on it and knocking them down, but it's not as professional either though. Yeah, first hit. If you're easy, those retainers or those keepers will just fall right here. Bam. All right, let me speed this process up for y'all. So if you notice, I didn't bother with putting valve seals in this thing. They just seemed to be pretty good, like they were. And there wasn't any carbon buildup, or, didn't really seem like it needed them. Plus my kit didn't come with them, or I would have put them in, just to be honest with y'all. And luckily the pack spring, since it's not a dual spring, you can just use the factory valve seals. I think that's one of the reasons these things are so popular. Just really a simple spring. They're not bad to put on. You can actually take them off or put them on one of those cheap spring compressors from the parts store. If you look right there close to that wing nut with that red cap on it, I've had to beef mine up before from doing them dual springs, like 660 springs. But then we just roll right into getting these heads put on. We got to prep this ARP hardware, which takes a minute. You got to clean every bolt and washer with brake cleaner and get all the machine oil off and apply the torquing compound on the bottom of the bolt head and the threads. Yeah, that's right. And then we just get them torqued, I think, to 75 foot-pounds. Go over it, once again. Now we just start assembling our valve train. This Lucas STP has just kind of been something I've always used. All the people I grew up around that did any type of engine work, that's just what they used. It's not anything you see in a professional engine shop, but it does work. All right, everyone. Appreciate y'all hanging with me on this. We got a lot done, man. I mean, we are so much closer. I'm pumped about this. Hope y'all are pumped about this. We just got to keep on chugging forwards, Well, the next time we'll get the engine dressed. I have all the front accessory drive, all that to put on. Got new valve covers, intake. Don't want to give away what type of valve covers and intake I got, but one of them starts with a BTR and one of them starts with Holly. So y'all tune in for that one. And I was going to go ahead and get the oil pan put on. I got the oil pump on and the windows tray on. And then I went to the gasket kit to get an O-ring, and of course it didn't come with an O-ring for the pickup tube. So I was like, well, maybe this pickup tube O-ring would be good. Knowing that I shouldn't reuse it, I was thinking to myself, maybe it'd be good. I walk over there and it's definitely not good. It's harder than playing I Spy game with a 3-year-old. So we're going to definitely go to the parts store and spend that $3, $4, $5 and get us a new O-ring. And then we'll just roll that in on the next video. The next video, this baby will be done. We'll get the transmission mounted to it and possibly even get it in the car. I've got a transmission cross. I've already got the cross member. I've already put the engine in the car one time to verify that it fits on the AJEK member. So we're good there, you know. And we are still currently waiting on a few parts to come from Summit. I ordered their little barbell kit, and you know, still don't have a barbell in there. And the oil pressure relief bypass, didn't even know that was a thing, but it come in the kit from Summit, so we're putting her in there. But man, I'm excited about this thing. It looks good. I was gonna get the headers put on it, but I don't really see a need to do it until we get the front timing cover on, oil pan on, and all that. Then, like I said, we'll roll that into the next video. But like I said, can't thank y'all enough for tuning in. Please subscribe, helps the channel grow. Can't do this by myself, you know. It takes an army to make these YouTube channels grow, and I appreciate every subscriber and every like, every comment. I enjoy talking to y'all. So that's gonna wrap this one up, boys. Have a good one. Tune in for the next one. Take it easy.